This is where we're going to play the intro to our podcast.
Down, down, tick it down, down, tick it down, 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 tick it
Cosmic
down, 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 down,
turd.
down, tick it down, 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 down.
Whipping up.
You gotta poop your shit out. Get your poop shit out.
Here we are. Are you Megan?
I am Megan,
Okay,
but
good.
most of the time I'm rubbish cook.
Here we are for actual episode numero uno. We had a dry run, a fucking dry hand job run.
There was no moistness.
There's no lotion, but we did it, and here we are. We got our feedback from our MVP, Matt. We gotta start with who we are.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it. Let's crush it. I'm Whitney. You may recognize me from such films as Kenshi Ride a Hayabusa and any other episode that I seemingly cannot remember the title of. Something about a fire blade, something about a 1098 from the motorcycle YouTube channel Yammy Noob. And I am joined by my bestest with the mestest.
I'm a big mess. That's also what my initials spell. Mess. Hey, I'm RC, Rubbish Cook.
Rubbish Cook.
Megan Smith.
House.
I make a goofy philosophical cooking show where I cook and dance and play and just have a great time. My enthusiasm is unmatched. Pretty much.
Without a doubt.
Try and match my enthusiasm, I dare you.
Can you remember the moment we were like, why don't we start a podcast? Because for me, it's like people were asking me if I had one. And also, I'm a big fan of them, but I couldn't remember how long we'd been talking about starting a podcast.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not as aware of
Of dogs chomping because I'm gonna go.
You don't want to hear them drinking water? They're just being themselves. I don't know if I really had an idea that we were going to start a podcast because obviously we have great conversations, but when I think of my internet persona and the things that I want to share with people, it's always like my goofy shit. It's like, oh, this is a funny gag. Like, this will knock their dicks off. I'm never like, I want to be really earnest with one of my best friends and reveal a lot of sensitive vulnerabilities and then post it on the internet.
No, so for the people out in the internet that may not know, we also own a cooking school business. I teach cocktail classes. Megan teaches several cooking classes as well. But our main priority, our business ethos is like, I don't want to fucking do anything but have fun.
And I don't want to work for you. I want to work for me.
I don't want to work for you.
I don't want to work for you either, Mosef.
I need a fucking dog sitter.
Fucking light somewhere, boy.
God damn,
lay down.
Sit the fuck down. Fucking dick.
That reminded me of my dad. He used to tell our dog Gonzo to light somewhere.
Light?
Light somewhere. It's like, what does that mean, Dad?
That's some Virginian
That's some
shit.
Virginian shit. I'm from Virginia.
She's from Virginia.
Virginia.
I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota,
I'm
yeah.
from Minnesota.
Minnesota,
you know, when I
yeah.
get drunk, you can hear the O's come out. Oh, yeah, toast. We got toast and boats up there.
That made me tingle.
Dude, listening to any family member on the phone, I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're the deep south of Canada up there. Fucking crazy, passive-aggressive, fucking don't ever talk to your family ever again. Throw them in a wood chipper.
That's right, Marge. You gotta have some eggs, Marge. You gotta have a breakfast, Marge.
And here we are, and this is 100% going to spin off into like our improv show. Because
why are we so prolific?
It's just like squeezing pustule, but more three-dimensional.
A pustule butt. Yeah, I mean, you think of something and then you want to try your hand at it.
Yeah, I just want to know. You got to throw a bunch of
A bunch of spaghetti.
You gotta throw a bunch of shit at the wall, see what sticks.
That's right. We're spreading our seed.
Yeah, right now onto
That's
the
right.
internet.
They're like dandelion, dandelion shit. We're blowing that shit.
We're blowing it, and you're joining us because you're actually. I'm gonna take another picture and post. You're sitting with us on a case of sparkling water. You're at the table. You're hanging out.
It's pamplemousse. It is pamplemousse flavored. That's French. That is French for grapefruit.
You want to know something fucked up?
Yes.
This is the fucked up corner.
Hit us with it.
I was diagnosed with a mild form of narcolepsy back when I was like 19. And I haven't had a narcolepsy spell in a long time. You ever just want to cut off your dog's feet?
Click, clack, click, clack.
I just rather hear bloody stumps around the fucking floor than like hear.
Can we maybe get them some socks instead of cutting off their
How many
feet?
toenails is that? 20? 20.
You just got them done,
20.
actually, so they're extra loud.
20 fucking toenails just dancing around the house.
Let's get some rugs up in here. What the fuck?
And it's like, he's not going anywhere.
He's just cruising, checking out all the scents in the homestead.
Oh, God. Edit that out. What was I talking about? Oh, narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy.
And every time I grab a sparkling water now, I have a mild, I don't know what you would call them, sensation? Episode.
Was it episode? Pat? Is that what you would say?
Why, thank you for that save. I'm going to be hitting her a lot. She's going to come out with the words because I'm going on a week 4 of a sleep regression. You know what they say during week 4 is a sleep regression? Start a podcast.
That's our solution.
That's
at
our
least.
solution. But every time I drink a sparkling water, I have a narcoleptic episode, and I wonder if there's something in there.
Wait, when you start drinking it?
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay,
Is it every flavor?
Yeah. I'm just insane, but I've noticed if I don't drink one, it doesn't happen.
Do you want to describe what that sensation is like when you start drinking the sparkling water? She went to go cut off her dog's feet.
I could pass out. I could just fall asleep.
Do you notice that it happens when you have been deprived of sleep? Or is it when you're fully rested too?
It's just when I drink sparkling water. I should measure other variables.
Definitely other things are coming into play, but how can you really separate them out to discover the true source?
Right now I'm tired because I didn't get much sleep. But if I drink one, I'm like, I have to go to sleep and I can't recover from it.
That's nuts.
Isn't
We
that
should
weird?
Probably Google that to see if it happens to anybody else with those inclinations.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
I'm just not gonna drink it.
Don't drink one of those and then drive a school bus over a bridge.
Full of orphan infants.
Orphan infants on the bus.
Speaking of orphan infants, I brought a tidbit to the table.
Whoa, here we go. We're diving in.
We're diving in right now. And what's also funny is I lost it. What's also funny is how this came to be and why I wanted to talk to you about it. Because I like to lay in bed and watch Unwrapped, like with Mark Summers.
Oh, yeah.
It's really bad. And whoever filmed it, now being a videographer, I'm like, this is bad. They had a birthday cake one. And they had this dude who, he birthed the idea of printing out pictures on edible paper.
Game changer.
But what they didn't explain, he's like, I just put edible paper in the printer and then I printed it out and we ate it. And I was like, so is ink?
Edible ink?
Wait, what about the ink? And then I was like,
can you eat ink? Up next on our podcast.
And then there was just a montage of different people eating like little kids' faces of just like ink, like just printer ink.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't change the ink?
No. There was no mentioning of the ink. He said, I got a piece of edible paper, I put it in my printer, and then we ate it. It was like some kid playing soccer.
You would think that... Wait, the kid playing soccer is the one who developed this technique?
No, it was just like a picture.
Okay. I have some questions. Like, didn't it dye their mouths with the printer
I
ink?
have so many questions. I guess, is it such a nominal amount of ink it doesn't matter? Like, if you're only eating a slice of,
Yeah, because there's a
microns.
certain, like, parts per million of just pure poison and garbage that's allowed to go into all of our food and water anyway.
It's everywhere.
So it's almost like an accretion thing in your body. You have to be mindful of, like, how much you've taken in and not, like, push your body's boundaries too much.
So there was that, right? Question 1.
Yeah.
But then real brief before moving on to a different segment about icing. He's like, did you know birthdays originated to keep away bad spirits? And then it just went on
No
to the
context.
And I was like, wait, what? Origin of birthdays? I didn't think about that.
Maybe the types of people who are usually watching this show are not as inquisitive as you are, or like curious about the how or the why.
What? Demons
They're
on
fucking
your
eating
birthday.
ink right now, so I could just draw on a cake with a Sharpie and it'd be the same.
I just like, I leave every episode of Unwrapped more.
Dissatisfied.
Yeah, just, I'm like, there's more mysteries to life than I want there
But that's
to be.
true. The more questions you
yes.
ask, the more questions you ask, you know? The more potentials for variation you see.
So I did a real preliminary, and I mean at the gas station, Ruby's screaming, Lucas is pumping gas, brief research on the origin of birthdays. So it wasn't as much research as I wanted, but there was really one part. Well, there's actually 2 parts that are really interesting.
Hold on to your butts.
First of all, obviously everybody all over the world was doing different things, and the American birthday is a culmination of which is cool. It's
The melting pot.
the melting pot, like the Chinese thought the first birthday was the most important, so we kind of, they're celebrating their kids more than we were. And then birthday cakes are German, birthday candles are Roman. It's like there was all this cool stuff, but the part
Roman
that
candles on a cake.
I thought was that sounds like a lot of fun. We should do that sometime.
Exploding cakes.
Let's see, my birthday's next. We could film.
Write it down.
Roman
Write it down.
candle on a cake.
Roman candle birthday. It's happening. We already burned a gingerbread house.
We did light that on fire.
Okay, please continue.
I'm gonna slice us lighting that's a whole nother side tangent. Here's a clip of us burning down. We're actually inside of it right now.
We wanted to eat it, but it caught on fire.
Everything's melting. Okay, back to reality. There was a pagan part, and you're a religious scholar, so this is where
thank you.
I wanted to interview you.
Thank you.
Was birthdays, just like in a lot of pagan holidays, were times to ward off evil. So you would surround the person whose birthday it was. You would
With salt.
you would bury them in an
Salt
igloo of
encrusted
salt.
birthday. You'll be protected now.
You would sing loudly to fend off demons. You would have noisemakers to fend off demons.
Oh.
And the light on the cakes represented a light in darkness. So there's all this stuff. But then it said after that Christians came in and did whatever they did. It seemed almost like, and you might know more about Christians than your standard person, but the Christians came in, took all these pagan things, made them, they're all evil, but at the same time made us do all the things that pagans did.
Yeah, it's almost like they whitewashed them, but they sort of Christian washed them. It's like, well, you can keep your symbol, like for example, for Christmas, you can keep the tree. You know, you can keep the time of
But
year
you need
you're
this
doing
white
it.
man breaking into your house.
We're gonna sort of swap out the meaning of this ritual and let you keep the ritual, which is like so sly of them. I was talking about this to my folks in my cooking class on Sunday. I was just saying, like, when Catholicism like missionizes some region that has indigenous religion or like regional practices, they kind of just like Eric Cartman Trapper Keeper it up into the Catholic beast. But they just draw new links. Like if you have local deities, like West African religions have local deities, they sort of draw links from those deities to the cult of the saints. It's like, yeah, you can keep your gods and goddesses, but there's actually this one huge one, overarching one, God the Father, who trumps them all. But like, yeah, keep doing your little shriny bits as long as you know that, you know, he's number one.
It also said that they banned birthdays were considered evil but then all of a sudden, post-industrialization, the middle class can afford a sugary cake, which is...
Yeah, but it's also interesting how those rituals, like buying a tree, buying a cake, buying decorations, all that stuff was sort of transformed into a capitalist endeavor. It's like less about the symbolism of what you're doing, and it's more about like, we got to get all this fucking stuff at this time of year, every year. It's like, yeah, you're supporting the economy, but it's sort of like, what is the meaning behind this? Do you know why you do this? You don't. But you just do it because it's the expectation.
I think everything's a samsara, a cycle. And we, like the 90s were like, TV dinners, TV.
Pop your butt down. Yeah, watch some TV.
They were great. I think of that Matilda, like her parents, like in front of the TV. And the 90s were like the peak of... opulence. Like you could have whatever you wanted whenever you want, and beautiful fruits of the post-industrial revolution, right? You didn't have to make a lot of money to have stuff. But I think we are circling around to like, oh wait, I don't like, do we need the 27 kids at the birthday party with 18 bags of shit? And I think people are kind of shaking off what doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like a new sense of community and like refocusing that.
Yeah. Because I think we are hungry, because what's going to happen from the 90s and the TV dinners and the processed foods that are just all like glorious, gluttonous.
We got to puke it all out of our system. We got to poop that turd.
We're starved for authenticity.
Authenticity. That's right. It's... I often consider that word a bit of a cuss.
A cuss.
It's a bit of a swear, isn't it? Because, like, in regards to, like, cooking, for example, or, like, culinary endeavors, the word authentic just always pisses me off. It's like, okay, what makes something authentic? The ingredients? It's the technique? It's the people?
The word in neon on the side of a Mexican restaurant in the nearest suburb.
It's like, whose version of authentic is this? And why does that matter to me? You know? So that's sort of my background on the word, but I know that in different contexts it's... What do you think about the word?
Yeah, if you ask me about authenticity, and I could go off on a tirade, but then if you ask me about authentic food, I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, right. So scrubbing that authenticity on its own as a concept, like a personality trait, right?
I think let's try to pull it from the ether. I think authenticity is a blend of confidence. We talked about this before. It's a blend of like confidence, not giving a fucking shit. So almost carelessness that ballet dances with recklessness a little bit. Because you have to have, if you want to be authentic, you have to have a complete disregard for what others think.
Yeah.
Or standards. And I think authenticity has been absolutely pimped out to like a disgusting degree, like just a sad woman of the night. And
what do you mean by that?
I mean, she's got like the
she's a slut.
She's a fucking slob. She needs to be hit. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean that.
Oh fuck. I
was going back to like the 70s pimp and the king.
We are entering trauma zone.
Sorry. Let's not go there right now. But authenticity. It has been branded and guised and slapped around and thrown on everything. It's got a lot of makeup on. And
it's sort of like individualism as a marketing tool. It's like, be your true authentic self and buy this specific lip gloss from Kylie Jenner's lip kit so you can have individualized lips.
Yeah. But is that... Okay... But, like, I don't see authenticity in my life a lot. I don't hear people talking about it.
Well, it's interesting to think about. Authentic moments happen when people are not giving a shit about what your reaction is going to be. They're not anticipating a reaction. They're just saying or doing whatever they're compelled to do. So, like, my first thought was, like, maybe in the grocery store, people are authentic because they're like, ooh, fuck off, get out of my way. Or
yeah.
Like, can I help you get that down, ma'am? You know, like people are being their true selves in the grocery store. And I sort of love to people watch in there if I'm not in a rush. And I'll just be like, you know, reading cans.
But like secretly pulling the can down.
Seeing interactions between people. And I don't think that's authenticity. That's a version of it.
Peeking under the rocks.
Especially with like everybody wearing masks. I feel like there's a level of anonymity that people are riding on with their behavior in there. So it's like, yeah, okay, you're showing your true colors when we're all just trying to get bananas and apples and oranges.
We're all just trying to get shit to make poop with.
We are just trying to make poop, and I love that.
I desperately want there to be a counselor's office in every grocery store because I see some carts where I'm like, yo, you have got to go talk to a professional. You know how they have like those weird cooking stations or like, you know, instead of a butcher counter, you need to throw your problems over to that person and they're like, and then they fix it with food because
the dude who wears a microphone and like talks at the sampling desk.
And we should all just put on display what's going on in your cart because I see some shit, man, and it is like, oh no,
you really need all that bread.
It's not even that. It's like, okay, they have 28 TV dinners and then like 20 bags of those raw dog popsicles, the ones that are like, they're not in the freezer section, they're in like the juice section. You gotta put them in the freezer and you're like, dude, you're gonna die.
But that's the beauty of it.
I didn't say it wasn't beautiful.
It's their choice. They gotta put whatever they're feeling in their cart. It's like,
do you like the lost
hands off my cart, government?
Do you like the lost people who have no idea what they're doing and they've got like turkey sausage and then that's it? And you're like, dude, do you need help? Like sometimes I want to help them, like, here, grab this,
try a nice linguine.
Some turkey sausage,
bit of parsley. When I look at other people's carts, I like see into their lives.
Exactly.
It's like what you're picking at the grocery store, because you can tell if somebody's like trying to get a lot of protein in their diet, or like they're about to go do some meal prep, or like they just want to eat their feelings, like there's lots of ice cream or something. It varies, and it's really quite interesting to witness. And that's where my mind goes in the grocery store.
Yeah,
like,
mine
what
too.
What are you up to? What are you all about? I want to try and sort of psychoanalyze you based on what you put in your grocery cart.
I think I think people need that. I think we've talked to some people, some friends of mine who are, the grocery store is a terrible place.
True.
It's overwhelming. They don't, cooking eludes them, food eludes them. And that's such a bummer because there is so much. I feel like that could really solve a lot of anxiety problems.
What is it called? When there's a lot of options paralysis.
Oh yeah. That's what that and it's
decision
insane.
Paralysis or something like that. Yeah, because there's a lot of options, and if you don't go into the store like with a little game plan or like a general idea of what you want to come out with, then yeah, it's a constant assault on all your senses, and you're being you know, depending on when you go, if it's really busy, like that's scary too. That's an anxiety inducing when people are trying to run you over with their carts.
Are they just always right where you need to be?
Isn't that fucking weird? It's like I need to that I'm actually trying to get right where you,
and they're standing there doing nothing, but it's almost like they know that they're pulled to stand in front of it.
People are always right in your way.
And then look at you.
Oh, did you need to get something over
Oh,
here?
this?
Did you need this?
Below me?
Let me take a look at it. I might need it for before you, though.
And then, like, I'll try to power by them, and then they pick up speed. I remember this one time, I freaked out so bad, and Lucas can attest to this. It was peak COVID, so only the brave were going into grocery stores, so it was fun. Like, there was a different kind of person going grocery shopping. And I think it was just like early morning. I'm in there. It's like 8 a.m. And there were like 8 older women of all races coming after me.
Oh, shit.
Just following right behind me, right next to me.
Did you have Ruby with you?
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck do you need?
The matriarchs.
Yeah, it was really weird. So I just stopped moving for a while. And then they all stopped.
Oh my God.
And I was like, there is some weird
They were sentinels, dude.
Yeah, there's some weird quantum shit happening in here. Like, who was drawn to the grocery store at this time? Why am I being attacked by them? It was
I think they were
so
all agents
weird.
of the system.
That was most likely the scenario.
They wanted to extract your code. Did you notice they kept on trying to scan the back of your neck?
I just... Come on, I need to get food for my family.
Wait, when did I get a barcode right there?
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you and the people of the internet the first time I went to the grocery store as a mother?
Let's listen in.
Backstory, I've been a bartender for, I don't know, 10 years or something longer than that.
16
years. So I've never been to the grocery store on a Friday or Saturday night. I'd never been anywhere. I've only been behind the bar on Fridays and Saturday nights.
Got it.
So we had run out of food. We had run out of all the nice food that people had brought us, and it was time to go. And I figured Saturday night was a great time to go. Everyone's going to be gone.
Everyone's out. Everyone's doing their thing.
Oh my fucking God. I was so wrong. I had picked the HEB calendar of like freak show to go. Because I have a 2-week-old baby with me, right? And it's cold and it's February.
I feel like you should have just texted me and I would have done it.
I should have. I think I was emotional about it.
Wait,
like,
but was it Snowpocalypse?
No.
Oh, okay.
This was the
year
before
that. Okay, got it.
We go in and there are like wasted people and party people and like... But I guess, too, it was COVID, so it was just, like, weird. Like, I don't know who the hell... I guess you can't go to the club, so they all came to the grocery store. And we're checking out, and this shorter Hispanic dude, like, face tattoos, forehead tattoos, like, crazy. Somebody you don't typically see at the grocery store. He comes up to me and Ruby, and he's, like, asking me where these Solo cups were. And I was like, dude, if I had to guess, I don't work here, but if I had to guess, they'd be over there. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like looking at my baby and he's getting like really close.
Oh, no.
I think because there's like that wolf pheromone, newness.
He's like sniffing you out and seeing if you need to be.
And I didn't get weird vibes from him at first until he started like moving in. Like, who does that? No one does that, especially a new baby.
Also, you're on mother high alert. Like, this is my fucking baby. You better not fucking touch her.
Well, like, you can see her. You're right next to me, no social distancing in the grocery store. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck do you want? And I kind of back away and he gets kind of offended. And I can smell alcohol in his breath. I'm like, he's looking for Solo cups or whatever. I'm like, okay, dude, go get your shit, man. Just go get your fucking cups. He leaves and backs off. And then, like, I go back in line, find Lucas, and he comes back over again to Lucas, and he starts talking to Lucas. I don't remember exactly what it was, how he's got a limo outside and stuff. And Lucas was like, at this point, he was holding Ruby again because I'm unloading stuff onto the onto the conveyor belt. And Lucas is like, okay, man. Okay. Like, cool. I'm checking out groceries. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
He was just chatting him up?
Yep. And then the guy's picking up on, like, this dude obviously is like on high alert for whatever reason and is like being really, like, if you're looking at him funny, he's getting offended. And I'm like,
jeez.
But you're acting funny, dude.
Yeah.
You could just go buy your shit and then leave, and then like you wouldn't have this stuff.
Be normal.
He starts getting Lucas's face.
Oh no.
Because Lucas is like, okay, we're done here. We're done. Like, I don't want to hear about your limo and your cups and like your beer pong and like all sorts of shit. He's like, oh, you think you're so fucking tough? And he's holding Ruby. And I'm like, I'm like looking on the conveyor belt to see if I have anything to just like throw at him.
Bludgeon him with.
And I tell the cashier, I'm like, hey, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I don't want this dude, like, we're just trying to check out our fucking groceries. He starts getting really into Lucas's face. And Lucas is like, I threatens him. He's like, you fucking come at me, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass.
Oh my
like,
God,
as he's
dude.
like, they start getting into it, and he's like, you're fucking lucky you got a baby, and like, I'm like,
He's not asleep.
Dude, what the fuck, man? And so he leaves. We don't have to get security involved. I never want to get, it's like, that just go, dude. I don't want anything to get worse than it was. But we get in the car and we pack up, and Lucas and I are just in disbelief that was our first. I've never had an altercation since then. I go there every other day. I've been there on Saturday nights. It's like never.
Weird energy there.
Super weird energy. We get in the car. Lucas is like, I'm gonna go fucking find him right fucking now, and starts driving around. I'm like, dude, no. If me and Ruby were in the car, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, don't bring the pain. Don't bring the danger.
I don't know what's going on with him. He's probably on something with how heightened he was. You know, it's like, he's like, how dare he fucking come after me and the baby? I'm like,
he's probably that kind of person, like, who goes to the grocery store a little fucked up, and like his job was just to get cups, like come back to the party with cups, limo. But he like accidentally gets into a really bad fight and gets killed or something. Just because he's like too emotional and has never had to manage his emotions.
And doesn't know how.
And couldn't do it if you asked him to nicely.
Oh, I'm thinking about him now. Poor guy.
I mean, not to sympathize with the aggressor, but
you have to.
You kind of have to.
You have to. If you have tattoos all over your face, I just understand that you don't know how to process pain.
That's an interesting concept. Emotional pain versus physical pain.
I always feel like dudes who are hyper masculine too don't have the proper facilities to kind of like understand that masculinity isn't just this egocentric fucking fight me, you know. It's like, come on, dude. Like, I now I'm getting the vibe that your dad wasn't around, you know?
Yeah, right.
And we look at TV and movies and absorb our parental.
Yeah, like, what is that? Like, protecting your territory, like defending your
insecurity, maybe.
Right, insecurity, so lash out.
Yeah. People who
like, if you take offense to something, like if you immediately take it personally, that means that you're a tiny scared person on the inside.
Yeah, I remember learning in therapy something really important, that if it was never safe to be angry growing up in your house, that you don't know how to be angry.
Dear Lord, that's the truth.
How many parents are giving you an appropriate place to express anger? No one. I don't think most people fall under that category.
I have a lot of trouble expressing anger or even feeling anger.
Yes.
A lot of things I don't get angry. And I think that's from like a long history of
not being able to be angry.
Being able to express anger or seeing it expressed in a way that was conducive to anything positive.
That was part of the homework that my therapist gave me. She's like, your homework is to learn how to go home and get angry. And I was like, you mean get blackout ragingly mad and say some awful shit, which is how I was expressing my anger, and like risk my marriage for that? Something super sacred to me, and like the only, you know, value, I just wanted to shit on it. And she's like, yes, you can be angry, not like that. You know, she's like, feel it and then say it. And that happened.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a therapist currently. I would like to get back into therapy, because when I did have a therapist, I felt pretty even keeled, and it's
revelatory.
It was really nice.
You need to pay somebody to scrub your brain.
Brain scrub, that's right.
A professional brain scrubber. And it's like, going to the doctor is normal, but going to the therapist isn't. It's like you use your brain in ways that need support.
Yeah, and there's so much going on up here. I can't navigate this shit by myself.
Dude, I filmed a vlog leaving my therapist's office yesterday, and then Lucas, my husband, was like, why don't you do a before, like going to?
Like, I was so fucking pissed off.
And then an after. And I was like,
that's so smart.
That's brilliant.
That's really good. I hope you do that. Can you hear me now? I wrote down 90s opulence. I almost wanted to say like lowbrow luxury. That type of thing. High tech, low life.
For authenticity or a different subject?
Just 90s opulence.
Okay.
Sort of trying to suss out that topic.
90s opulence.
You know, we're talking about TV dinners and stuff.
Can I look up opulence real quick?
Hell yeah.
I'd like to know, because I like to, luxuriousness. I was thinking it was more lavish than that.
I think eating a lot of fruit is opulent.
Fruit is opulent.
A big platter of it, and it's all wet and cold. Yeah. I mean, if you're feeling warm, that's when it's really hitting, you know? But I've also always wanted to make this thing called fizzy fruit, where you put fruit in a cooler with dry ice, and you sort of carbonize the fruit. And I've always wanted to try like a piece of watermelon that's like carbonated.
I've never heard of that before.
Well, we got to do it.
We got to do it.
We got to do it. I'm going to get Aaron to do it.
Why?
Because he's the scientist. I feel like I wouldn't do something like deliberately specific and sort of fuck up the experiment. Because I'm like, oh yeah, well, it says to do this, but I'm going to do it for like half that time. And you know,
we got to harness
it says
our
to have
inner
this
Aaron.
Quantity of this, but I think we can make it work with just this. You know? Just always cutting corners.
Where he is building a laser to laser cut a corner.
Dude, he was telling me about the James Webb telescope.
Aaron is the third triad in this trifecta.
He's our brother from another mother.
He's our brother from another mother. We'll talk about him more in the coincident authenticity section, but just to give you context, he is the leader of essentially the cooking school pact, and he's leading the way, and he's mostly always in Costa Rica.
I like to characterize him as the culinary bodhisattva. He has transcended this 100%. Sphere, but he remains with us in order to teach us the ways that he's learned.
I love running into him at the grocery store because he's always wearing a tie-dye Superman outfit. Like, it's all tie-dye, it's got the Superman logo, and he is a radiant beam of intelligent happiness. Like, he's figured it out. I mean, but I'm not gonna say
he has a joy.
He radiates a kind of joy.
He radiates joy, and that his authenticity is very much based in the I don't give a fuck about what you think.
Yes,
I'm growing out my hair. Yes, I'm getting it highlighted. What do you want to say to me about it? You know, everything he does, he's just like, because I wanted to.
But he was telling me about the telescope.
Yeah, well, just hearing him speak about the sheer amount of mirrors and like different bevel, like all the different angles. He was telling me that you have to, or they're using one specific star in the sky in order to calibrate the telescope, because this is replacing the Hubble telescope. It's
Okay.
like the new
amazing,
like biggest, bestest one. So then I forget how many different images of the star they had to resolve into one in order to calibrate it, but he was just, it's like he was pouring information from some portal, just like he was accessing like the collective unconscious and just like broadcasting. I don't know. I was like prepping for a class. So I was like, I just want to sit here and listen to you. And like, I think we had just smoked a joint too.
Perfect.
So it was just like flowing very easily. And I just love him. I love hearing him speak. And I love what he cares about.
90s opulence.
90s opulent. How opulent can we be? I like to think of, I don't know, opulence on a level that is actually attainable day to day.
Middle class opulence?
Middle class, low class, high brow, low brow. It's all gravy. I think I broke my stand. No, it's cool. It's cool.
I'm gonna chuck these at the abandoned guitar center that we got these from.
They're doing their job. Opulence in the form of how you take care of yourself. Like self-care, sort of.
Okay.
Like, I think it's opulent when I set aside like 2 hours to just dance as fucking hard as I can. Like, nobody's watching because nobody is. And I post a lot of dance videos and like dance content, but that is like 15 or 20% of the dancing that I do.
You'll text me. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? You're like, I'm dancing.
I'm so fucking sweaty. I've been dancing all around this bitch. And I think that is a huge self-care for me. Like, if I don't move, if I don't wildly flail my arms and legs and put myself in danger, sort of, then I don't feel good. I feel blocked. And I wanted to talk about like inspiration, like creative inspiration too, because I feel like when I move, that's when I feel the openness to the idea realm, you know, where everything's floating around. Bits like stream down my chute.
Yeah.
And so after I dance or do shooty hoops, I have to go like write my ideas down in a notepad. Like, that's how connected the movement is with, and the setting aside time for like self-care, how important that is for my like creative process.
I feel like you're doing some sort of ceremony.
It's definitely ritualistic, and there is a specific outcome that I'm trying to create. Like, it's not a specific outcome. It's like, generally I want to open up my third eye. Generally I'm
when
doing
did you
this.
When did you know that dancing was connected to opening up your third eye?
Well, I feel like I really only put it together in the last year or so. I know that I've always loved to do it, but I feel like I'm becoming more and more aware of myself and the reasons behind why I behave the way I do, or why I want to do certain things I do. I think for a long time I was just on autopilot and not really very inquisitive about my own identity, or like trying to flesh that out. Just really concerned with like, what's that person doing? Are they going to leave me? Am I going to be abandoned again? Like, I need to do whatever it takes to keep that person as close to me as possible. And it wasn't until like a serious rupture that I realized that kind of clingy, craving behavior is like the opposite of how I should behave. Like, I should be safe and comfortable and happy right here.
It should be a big dick.
I have the big dick.
I mean, or big whatever.
Big puss, too. Big, strong, wet puss. That's my shit.
And every time I say big dick, I'm like, what about the big puss?
Can we get a big puss in the room? Raise your hand if you got the big puss.
Oh no, our GoPro died.
Oh shit. Hello, we are back.
Hello, we are
on the cast. We are casting.
We got a different camera. My GoPro died. So I'm going to put on the screen the actual email address where you guys can hit us up and email us fun questions.
And you better fucking do it too. Because we'll know if you didn't.
We don't fucking like you, we're just not going to answer your question.
Whoa, shots fired.
It's going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, cosmicturd@gmail.com.
Okay, let's manifest this email address availability.
It might be like Cosmic Turd 69, probably, because Cosmic Turd is maybe already taken. Because at this point, in this late in the game in the internet, it's gone. Someone's got it.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any Gmail addresses that don't have numbers anymore.
But a fan of our first draft, which we will probably give people access to somehow.
Yeah, why not?
Wanted us to riff on the coincidences of us meeting.
As for questions, if there were this built-in place to make comments or ask questions, I would love to hear you guys riff on authenticity, what shift you guys would like to see in culture going forward, and how you met, and any synchronicities surrounding it. Sick.
I think when I think of authenticity in the future, I think of transparency. I think of it all, the walls come crumbling down and everything gets real exposed.
I feel like that would signal the fall of civilization.
Thank God.
I think that it's built on the withholding of information. Like you have to get people to have jobs where they make sandwiches because they don't know that they could be doing something else. Like you need people. I don't know.
Are you touching on why the Anunnaki had us be farmers and then we figured out that we could be more than farmers and then they left?
I want to believe. I always wanted to believe.
Yeah, I mean that's why there's a lot of deficit in terms of.
It's like, why isn't education free? It's because they don't want it to be free. Have you guys seen my hand recently? Fuck, it's fucking me up.
Oh shit, where was I gonna go with the sandwich? There's a deficit in employment because people are like, make your own fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking do this. Because at the same time, we also have so many more tools at our disposal. We have the internet. Everyone's got a phone and the internet. And you can go buy a microphone for $50.
And then fart into it for an hour.
And just fart into it and make your own buffet-style sneeze guard.
Mosef, I will end you.
I'm seriously going to go behead him right now. I'm just going to end up on the fucking dark web.
Our podcast is broadcast on the dark web.
Go. Go over here. Big fucking pup. Eye boogers and your.
That's the shift that you want to see in society. You want it to crumble. All of the systems are unfair. They're all unjust. And we need to see them crumble so we can build back better.
I think that underneath how do I describe this? I feel like there's a nougat of humanity that has been locked away for a certain fee, right? And people are tired of it, finally. It kind of took a really long time for people to get tired of just all the bullshit and all the... Why am I going $240,000 in debt for an art degree? And it's like, I don't know, you signed the paper, but it's like, but that's it. There are things that get under the radar in plain sight because you're kind of forced to in a way to go a certain route. But in America, we're obsessed with the pull your fucking self up by your fucking bootstraps. You know, that whole thing. And it's like, I get that, because I've always, this shit's gonna get so heady real quick. But it's like,
come on, she's pooping it out.
No, I know, right?
Let it poop.
Hold my hand. not that I want to go on a tirade about what people actually want when they want to see you pull yourself up from your bootstraps. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I do feel like a lot of the nougat is hidden, trapped by that mindset, because they don't realize that they're also brainwashed for holding other people to that strange mirage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like the metric that they're using is arbitrary. It's like, this is your ideal version of capitalist slavery, or whatever you're trying to get me to subscribe to.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw capitalism under the bus ever, or say that that's why, because it's like there's something more sinister than that, than just like the exchange of goods and services, because it definitely balloons into this more nefarious thing that at first was just a simple exchange.
Well, then, so what is it about if it's not about money?
I think it's about power
and control.
Yeah.
Like, control people to do what?
Be underneath them. But also at the same time, it's like, well, you get to feed your family when you're making sandwiches. Not anymore. You cannot. Somebody memed that like Homer was a single.
The Simpsons house, the big family.
The Simpsons house with one income.
One breadwinner.
And that was a thing. And I'm like, yeah. And then it suddenly wasn't anymore. Anyways. God damn.
Yeah, they had a den, a dining room, a TV room, a family room with a fireplace, the kitchen, Lisa's room, Bart's room, Maggie's room, and Homer and Marge's room, and an attic, and a basement, and a garage.
My parents bought their house for $20,000.
What the French
in
toast?
1990, 1991?
That seems so... I mean, I could just go out and buy a house right now.
I looked it up on Zillow. I was like, you can't even buy a new Hyundai for that.
My mom bought a townhouse, her first solo purchase, in 1998 for $100,000 for us to live in. So that's the only thing I know about buying houses and shit. Like, my parents filed bankruptcy multiple times, and I don't really know anything about those types of financial goals. I've always just had a certain disdain for money, and that it's even necessary, and I don't like spending it, although recently I've been sort of loosening up on that, because I thought I was just supposed to have it in case of emergencies, because
that's what credit cards are for, baby.
It's a tool, it's like not something that I derive pleasure from, unless I think about all the food it can buy me and my friends, and like it can buy me like a cool pan that I can use to cook something really well. I don't know. I still fucking hate money. Moses, get out of here, boy. Better light somewhere. And that's not to disparage people who filed bankruptcy or people who love money. Everybody's got to do their own thing. C'est ça alors. I wish that my thing didn't require money, the exchange of money, but it's what makes the world go round, I guess. Like, we wouldn't have these microphones, we wouldn't have these little cell phones, we didn't have Buddy. Do you know what I mean?
These are just episode 1 problems, right? Like Star Wars.
Episode 1 of Star Wars had a lot of problems. I tried to start watching that the other day.
I gotta watch them again.
No, you do not have to watch that one.
My dad, R.I.P., loves episode 1.
Jar Jar Binks?
He's such a anarchist. So.
Yeah, he loves that everybody hated him.
Whatever.
He's like, yeah, I fuck with Jar Jar. I love his accent.
That's what we would have talked about on his deathbed had I been around.
Oh, shit.
I would have been like, okay, dude, real quick. Can you tell me
to repent your love of Star Wars Episode 1. You have time.
There's a lot going on in it for sure. We got to wrap this up. Because that dog ain't going to stay in that room for long.
Thank you for your time. I love you. I love you all.
Dude, an hour is not enough.
It's really not that long at all. I guess we could cut some bits. Authenticity, self-care,
money,
malls in
debt.
the 90s, money, debt. I'm hungry. I want to eat something so bad.
You're hungry. I'm hungry. So thanks for tuning in, guys. The next episode might be filmed on the moon or something where there aren't dogs around.
But wait, isn't there a dog on the moon? Wasn't she Russian? They left her up there, didn't they?
She died.
What was her name? Laika. Laika Striker.
Was her name Laika?
I think so, but I don't think they left her there.
No, she died. I think just going there, she died.
She died going there? I thought she made it back.
There's no way she made it back. I think every animal they shot into space did not come back.
This one's for you, Laika. If that's
they did
your real name.
They shot a chimp, too.
They shot him right in the head.
Just like they
Give
did
us the
JFK.
codes.
Just like the CIA did JFK.
Conspiracies.
Dude, JFK is the next episode.
Oh, man.
You need to watch John Oliver. Oh, God.
Oliver just talk about Marilyn Monroe the whole time. John Oliver's JFK.
Oliver Stone's JFK.
All right.
Bah!
Bah.